Coach, you're obviously done with fall ball, had a time to go evaluate the film and everything. What are some of the big things you saw that you liked, you feel like you build on this summer going into fall camp and everything?
Well, first of all, it starts with our connection. We can't take anything for granted. When our players, we actually report on Monday night, on Memorial Day night. So we'll have 40 new scholarship players at least showing up. So you can never take for granted your culture, your connectivity. But I saw a team continue to grow. I saw also some individuals make the most of an opportunity with significant repetitions with others sitting out practice. So I think, when you look at practice 1 through 15, we are able to really kind of grow the roster in terms of depth. And so that was great to see in moving this football team forward.
100 days away, is the team kind of where you want it to be or expect it to be?
Well, I'll know a little bit more when we report Monday night. And, it's important for them to have the month off. We had a lot of individuals that actually stayed on campus and worked out here on their own, which tells me they're very eager and they're willing in our leadership. But I'll know a little bit more where we're at probably on the Tuesday and Wednesday afterwards, what type of shape. But, we've been in contact with every individual. And I know they're looking forward to getting back on campus.
What does it mean to be here at Little Rock in front of all of your alumni and fans, but also not only Little Rock, but going around the city?
Well, I think you can feel the energy in the building right now. You can feel the excitement, and it's been great. This is our third Howl on Wheels. And it's been great, and I think the reception's been great. And again, just to really get out to be with our fan base and our donors and everyone that supports us, just to talk Arkansas State, to talk kind of the direction of where we're going and feel their energy, it's been great. It's been very rewarding.
How much different is the energy coming off of a bowl game, coming off of all that compared to maybe where y'all were at this time last year?
We've always felt the energy, but there is a difference. There is a difference. The expectations have grown significantly, and that's where we want to be. We want expectations year in, year out to surround our football program. We've worked really hard for it, but when we get back to talking about the newcomers and everything we were able to do, we were the third youngest team in all of college football. But like I'll tell our football team Monday night, it's one thing to be a year older, we have to be a year better for that as well.
One thing you've talked about since you've come here is having a player-led team. And it seemed like last year we started kind of seeing that starting to come together. How do you feel about that coming out of the fall going in? Are you seeing that more and more?
Well, that's a great point, and that's exactly what we talk about is, we want to be a player-driven team. They're the ones that really enforce our culture on a daily basis, and I do see that. But again, with the newcomers coming in, we'll welcome 21 new freshmen and then, a number of transfers. And so, again, we can never take that for granted. But I see a football team, I see players on our roster now that it's a pride of who we are, and they understand what they represent on a daily basis. It's been very rewarding to see.
Coach, you've seen some, speaking of transfers, you've seen some attrition on the offensive line, a couple injuries. We didn't see too much activity on the transfer wire getting an offensive lineman. Do you feel confident with what you have?
I do. I really like our players. I like where they're at. And, we're in a position right now with that group that we needed to be selective. And, when you talked about where we were and addressing the team, after 15 practices, we had some other deficiencies in the hierarchy that we needed to work to improve upon, and I think we've been able to do that. Now we'll see when they get here. But it's going to be an opportunity for the Mason Myers and some individuals, Lyric Watson, to really step up and be in roles. Lyric played for us as a true freshman, was limited last year, and then Mason Myers redshirted. But Mason's an individual who's up to 295 pounds, and he'll be our center until Jacob's ready to go. So, again, we just thought we had other needs to fill on our roster, and we still look to address the offensive line situation. But when you look at it, we're also looking for the best players available as well.
Coach, there are some people that are saying that the Red Wolves are the favorite in the Sun Belt West. What do you think about that?
Well, I was telling somebody today, I think the Sun Belt West is probably the most competitive maybe it's ever been in the history of the Sun Belt. And you really look at, all the teams, anyone can beat anyone, and everyone has really improved their rosters through the transfer portal. And that's the thing, you never really know until what everyone has until you see it. Hey, buddy, come on, get in here.
So what's the NIL looking like, Coach Jones?
Trying to get on the offensive line.
He's our highest priced recruit right now. He's demanded the most. But, so we'll see as that progresses. But, again, I kind of like where the roster is right now. I kind of like where we're going. But, we need competition across the board.
You mentioned competition. You brought in several quarterbacks. There was some success last year at that position. I can only imagine what it's going to look like this year with the guys you brought in.
Well, again, when you look at the quarterback situation, you're one play away. And, at the conclusion of spring, we only had 2 quarterbacks on our roster. So that's kind of alarming a little bit. Now, Malik Hornsby gives us the flexibility, to be able to allow him to play quarterback as well. And him having done that, I think that helps. And then Josh Flowers, our signee, he missed about half of spring football. So, again, his growth and his maturation, I thought, was set back a little bit. But as he worked his way back into playing, I think we all saw glimpses of what he could be. And then I thought Jalen took steps in moving forward. I thought he really improved his command of the offense, his knowledge of the game, his footwork, the ability to exhaust the progressions and all that goes along with that. But, also, great players want to be pushed. And so it's our job as coaches to bring players in that are going to constantly elevate everyone's play.
You touch on some of you're trying to go out and get the best players out of the portal. Who are some of those new guys that have really excited you that y'all have been able to land this offseason?
Well, I really can't talk about them right now. We'll know a little bit more on Monday when they report, but I was really excited about the first wave of transfers that we were able to sign in January and February. And the great thing about that group is they were able to be with us through off-season strength and conditioning and, some defensive ends, a linebacker, some things like that I think really helped elevate us. And the more that we can get players to enroll early, I think that helps. And then also that'll be a good bridge and a pathway to the transfers coming in when we get back on Monday.
You've always had success recruiting here since you come here. I think your worst class was second, and that was your first year in the Sun Belt Conference. How much easier is it getting now with a year like last year, kind of a turnaround year, to recruit now?
Well, it's always a challenge, but we have a great product to sell now, and a lot of times we were selling them on a vision. Now we're selling them on facts and results, and I think that makes a difference. But also, our players do a remarkable job for us in the recruiting process. They're great ambassadors for us and moving forward. And then obviously when they feel the energy and the excitement, you asked about nights like this. When prospective student athletes come on campus, this is the type of energy that they feel when they come on campus.
You guys good? Thanks, Coach.